So let's throw in our reference image, the king, drag and drop, and let's get started on this guy. So basic tab, we're just going to do that same 12-sided cylinder. Again, make sure that it's 12 by 1 for sides and segments. Spacebar to drop the tool. We'll just go right into the front view. And this one should go really fast. So again, eyeball these guys into shape. And again, I'm going to have to move my backdrop item because it's not all the way centered. Technically, it's a little bit rotated and skewed because again, this is another one of those that I think the backdrop, the image itself was just kind of on the edge. So again, it's going to be a little bit distorted because of the lens distortion. The other thing, it's plastic, so it could have melted or warped a little bit. It's not 100% perfect. So again, something like this should be fine. We want to have that transparent material, so select all the polygons. King, OK, shading tree, grab our material transparency, transparent amount, set it to 30 like we have been. So again, there's a subtle curve in here. Let's scale that in a little bit. Bevel, and then most likely B is your bevel hotkey if you like hotkeys. Switch to face mode, extrude, oops, make sure I grab the face, extrude, pull it out. Right there is fine. Extrude, pull it down. And now, I didn't really extrude this edge enough. If I grab this with the middle mouse click, it's going to bring everything out, which isn't that bad. But if I need to select this, I'll just have to change views, go in, grab the edge that I want, the one edge, and then kind of compensate for it. Again, let's actually put this right here. Grab this edge, pull him up, scale him out, something like that. And again, just because I modified this after the bevel, we can just add one more edge in here. I'm just using this little slider right here, or if I click and drag the background with loop slice, I can slide this edge up and down, scale it in, something like that's going to work out. If I want to, I could round this edge. Realistically, I'm going to call it good though. Extrude, scale this out, match the base, put this about right here, again focusing on the left side. Sent that out a little bit too much. Bevel, pull it in, round this level, pop it up to 2. Something like that should be fine. I'll actually just grab this whole series with a middle click. Just pull it all up a little bit. Change my camera view. Again, remembering Control, Option, Shift are your hotkeys for navigating. If you're relying on these buttons up here, you're going to end up having a really bad time later down the road because again, being able to navigate your scene really quickly is going to make your homework just go 10 times faster. And again, using these keys, it's really limiting compared to just using your Control, Option, and Shift keys. So again, extrude this guy. Oops, I had one extra edge selected. So I just want to undo that, make sure I only have one polygon down here selected. Extrude that, pull it down. I'm going to do this a little bit different. I have this edge that's just pulled down, so again, technically this edge right here at this point isn't really doing anything, but after this it will. I'm going to grab, and again, this is just a different way to do things. Go ahead and do a quick save, just in case we can prevent a crash. King piece. I'm going to select 2 pieces, and then I can hit the up arrow, and it'll just remember that pattern going all the way through. I could also grab every other one, and it would grab every other one. Or do something like that. Or if I select 2, hit L, it'll do a loop all the way around. So again, just faster ways to select things. And now I'm going to do Mesh Edit tab, extrude, right click, switch to scale with the R key, scale this out. This gives me a little shelf. Just see how wide it is. Something around there is going to be fine. Go to our front view. So from here, I can either do the thing where I make an edge, pull it out, beat a bevel, and pull it in like that, or just a different way of doing things just to mix it up. Let's turn this up so we can see it a little better. This top edge and this bottom edge, beat a bevel, roundness level we'll just set to 1, grab our blue handle, and it's going to bevel it this way. So again, we get a similar scenario, it's just a little bit different. Now we don't have that center ring right there, but again, just a different way to handle things. Go back to our front view, and again, extrude, scale out, potentially pull up a little bit, extrude, pull up, extrude, scale in, extrude, pull up, extrude, oops, make sure that I actually hit it. Have the 1 polygon selected. Over here it says 1 polygon. Extrude, scale in. Now this one, it's hard to see. You probably won't be able to see it on the video, but I can see a very faint yellow line and I want it to match up to here and here. So 3D view, what's happening? Let's undo that real quick. I'm just grabbing this polygon, doing an extrude, switching to scale, and pulling it in like this. Doing another extrude, right click, pull up, and it's just giving me the shelf step. So I did it here, here, and here. So undoing all the way back to the beginning. This polygon, extrude, scale in, spacebar, extrude, pull, oops, extrude, pull up, forget to right click. Again, you can either hit right click or apply here. Extrude, again, scale, extrude, pull up. And again, I did that at a 3/4 view. It actually lined up pretty well, so that works. But normally I'd want to do that from this view. Now here, the bottoms are a little bit square and the tops are round. So I'm going to do this all in one go. I'll double click this edge, double click this edge, go to the front, beat a bevel, grab this, both of those pull down. Oops. We have possible error. So this, if I middle mouse click, this is just basic troubleshooting, which is good to see. Our bevel tool didn't act how we expected it to. I wanted this to make it round, it didn't make it round, it acted really strange. So first thing I'm going to do is switch to vertice mode. Go in here where there'd be 1 vertice, I'm just going to middle mouse click and drag around that 1 vert. Down here it says there's 2 vertices selected. Ideally there should only be 1 vertice here. So what happened there when I was just moving really fast, I extruded, but I didn't move the object, and then I extruded it again. So technically there's a polygon sitting, it says 1 polygon selected. There's like a polygon hidden in here that we can't see. So to get rid of this, geometry, mesh cleanup, hit OK. It fixed a bunch of stuff. Switch to verts, middle mouse click. Down here it now says 1 vertex. So again, we just cleaned up that mesh. So now let's switch to edges, double click, hold shift, double click. So again, we have these 2 loops being selected. Switch to our front view, beat a bevel. We rounded that out just how we wanted to. So again, it's usually good to see that troubleshooting process. I'll do it again a ton of times in class. So again, you'll be able to see it quite a bit more. So let's just keep chugging along through this thing. Select 2, extrude. Do the loop slice after the extrude. Do the bevel. Make sure I have the right polygon selected. Now this I can see on this side, it looks like there's a little dent right here. On this side it looks more straight, so I'm just going to go with the dent. It's kind of visually interesting where it has this little angle right here. So from here we'll do another extrude, pull it up, scale it out. About right there. So again, just gives us a little bit of visual interest right here. Middle mouse select, So now what I'm going to do is there's kind of a handful of pieces here. So I'm just going to make these be separate pieces. So we'll extrude this, scale it and move it. Same thing. Move it up, scale it in. And again, this is where you get to be creative because again, there's no correct way to model things usually. I mean, there's best practices and whatnot, which I'll cover those. But usually there's more than one way to get something done. So from here, we kind of have this piece, and right here there would be a little sphere sitting right here. You can kind of think of just kind of a squished sphere, like a little belly button thing. So from here, I'm just actually going to build this out instead of attaching a sphere to this. So let's do this. Double click the edge, hide this so we can see it, beat a bevel, and do something like that. So this is going to be good. Again, we have an n-gon here. We haven't really talked about n-gons that much, but just to clean this up, I'm going to do an extrude, scale this in. Under vertex, I'm going to do a join average, so it just makes a bunch of triangles here where there used to be one big n-gon, and an n-gon being a polygon face that has more than 4 sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as we get into 5, 6, 7, 8, this is considered an n-gon. So we're going to extrude. You can move that up a little bit and then do that join average, and just moving this one little vertex up a little bit gives it this rounded off feeling. So now we have this little cross shape on the top. So what I'm going to do is just add a new shape to this. So go to the Basic tab, left click on our box, all of our defaults 0, 0, 0, 0, size 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, segments all set to 1, call it good, right click, we have a box in the scene. So I can't actually grab him easily. So just something that we'll go over later. One, I can either middle mouse click and kind of select him so I can see through the object. Again, it's transparent, it's easy to see. The other thing I could do would be double click this object, go under view and hit hide selected. Boop. This guy's visible, so now I can double click him, move him way up, view, unhide. So that piece was just temporarily hidden. Now this is going to be what I'm going to use to make this little cross piece. So we'll do a quick save of our scene. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. One I have in my head, the other I'm just going to wing it and see what happens. So I'm just moving these up here because these are just going to be a floating thing. It's not going to actually be implemented into the mesh. So we have kind of a shape like this that has these little edges cut out of it in a sense. So the one thing is I'm just going to assume that it's going to be a little bit thinner like this. So I'm going to have this little square right here actually be kind of this square right here. So these 4 corners are going to correlate to these 4 corners. So we can scale the whole thing down a little bit, keep it the same width. So I'm going to grab this edge, extrude, and pull it out. So I want to have this be kind of a set distance. So when I look over here, I can see how far I'm pulling it out. So let's set it to 500 millimeters. Grab this edge, extrude, right click, pull it out negative 500 millimeters. Dun, 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 dun. And I can either eyeball this as I'm sliding it or manually put in the number. Grab this top one, extrude, pull it up. But just to show you a different way of doing things, I'm going to grab this one and this one at the same time, do an extrude, right click, so the geometry is there, it's just not moved yet. Hit R to switch to scale. Now I'm going to scale these up on just the y-axis so they start pulling apart from each other. Again, the kind of downfall with this is now I'm pulling it out based on a percentage as opposed to a number distance. But again, I can just eyeball it and call it good. So now I want to kind of flare out the tops, these corners. So let's grab these 2 side ones, flare those out, grab these 2, flare them out on the red handle. And then if I want to get this little curve right here, I could do a loop slice here, set it to uniform, loop slice this way, set it to uniform. Now I can just grab this polygon, or this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge, R to scale. And now I don't want to scale these on all axes, because if I do this, you'll see it's starting to get thick. I don't want it to get thick. I only want it to get wider this way and taller this way. So that's going to mean R to scale, and scale it on this little blue handle. So again, I'm just scaling it on the Y and the X axis. Something like that. Double click. Clunk this down into place. Again, mine might be a little bit bigger. And we're good to go here. So alternate way of doing this, let's think about this as a 2D object. So again, we're not thinking about the third dimension, it's just a flat plane. So we're going to do that same thing, kind of same build out scenario. Let's do a loop slice this way and this way. And now let's grab both of these, B to bevel, pull these out. So now we get kind of a scenario like this. Grab these 4 corners, scale them in. Don't know if this is going to work. Okay, things didn't work out that well. So instead of that, we'll just grab these 4 corners and we'll just delete them. That'll work. So grab these edges, scale these up. Actually, let's do it how we did the other one. So I'm going to scale just those up a little bit. These out, again, just eyeballing it. Grabbing these 4, scaling them like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and thicken this whole thing, so double click on it, extrude, right click, pull it out. Now we have a thickness there. And this guy I could just slam down into place, scale it up. So again, we have, in a sense, identical geometry, the number of loops at least, and then the shape is just a little bit different. Again, I can modify this and get it into place where it matches this one perfect. But again, multiple ways to make the same piece. So again, from here, we'll consider this done.